2008 was a grim year for everyone. It was a recession. I only found out probably a couple of years ago that the economy in the UK dropped by, I think it was 55 or 57%. I didn't know that at the time. All I heard was rejection after rejection after rejection, and I tried working 24 hours a day, including weekends, and it still didn't work, and we'd still lose pitches. And still work was being pulled away from us, even our key accounts. And you're thinking, what the hell is going on here? There's nothing I could do to save the day.
Hey everybody, Mark Arinsberg here with the Purenow Show. This is episode number 2. And like our first episode with Adam Perry, this gentleman, Mr. Chris Catchpole, is also from across the pond. He's the executive creative director at DDB, Tribal worldwide in Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. He's been here about 8 years, but I'm going to let him tell his story. Here we go.
I spent 3 years from 2005 to 2008 loving what I did. It was fantastic. You know, you walk in. My name was above the door. It was called Catchpole and Friends. In my career to that point, I realized the people I enjoyed working with were not only the very talented ones, they were the very nice ones. I'd met some people who were extremely talented who weren't particularly pleasant. I mean, you can work with them, it's fine. But you know, if you're going to go into the office every day and see these people, it's good if you get on. I'd also met people who were really lovely people, but completely lacking in talent, and you really don't want to work with those people. And you want to work with people I wanted to work with the people who were what I classed as friends, people who cared about each other, cared about the work. I actually used to put the P&L sheets on the walls to show what target we needed to make each month, and the money. So it was completely transparent, and everyone bought into that. They loved all of that. It was a small team. There's only about 7 or 8 of us. When I say 7 or 8, I mean we had a finance director who wasn't there full time. But we were opposite the big Sarchi's building on Charlotte Street, and I loved the office. 2008, from the 2nd of January, which I think was a Monday, 2008, Tuesday, we came back to work, and we went into a complete nosedive. We literally fell off a cliff. We've been climbing up this mountain and doing really well and winning awards along the way, and lots of people wanted to come and work with us, and getting CVs in from all over the place. And we used to offer internships, and some of those interns have now gone on to be creative directors and ECDs themselves. And because you can get that way if somebody encourages you and somebody mentors you and you've got talent. But 2008 was a grim year for everyone. It was a recession. I only found out probably a couple of years ago that the economy in the UK dropped by, I think it was 55 or 57%. I didn't know that at the time. All I heard was rejection after rejection after rejection, and I tried working 24 hours a day, including weekends, and it still didn't work. And we'd still lose pitches, and still work was being pulled away from us, even our key accounts. And you're thinking, what the hell is going on here? There's nothing I could do to save the day. I think it was the 1st of June 2008, I had to get everyone together and tell them that we had to close, and I only had enough money to pay them for 1 more month. Lots of tears, and this kind of a heartening but saddening thing was that they weren't crying for themselves. They all knew they could get great jobs, and they all went on to get good jobs. They're crying for me because I put everything, my heart and soul, into it. But also, not just it was all of me into it. It wasn't the smartest thing to do. It just didn't work. So we died, and on the 1st of August that year, we closed the company. And then the next thing is I'm in China, at a digital agency in China called Interone. China was an incredibly hard market, not just because of the climate in Beijing, which is pretty grim. But because I thought Vietnam was hard, but Vietnam to a certain extent is a bit like it's Asia light. I mean, we all describe Singapore as Asia light, but Vietnam is Asia light compared to China. In China, I mean, the level of English in Beijing was almost negligible, apart from people who work in the agency. And it's not their fault at all. I'm in their country. I should be learning Chinese. But I did think that I'm not sure I'm going to stay here. It was an enormous amount to take on. It was a big agency. It was about 110, I think. Very digitally led. But having said that, I'll roll forwards quickly to the end of that time. And I remember going in, because this job had come up at BBDO back in Vietnam. And I remember saying to my wife, do you want to go back to Vietnam? She said, oh, I don't mind. And I said, well, actually, I'm probably going to get offered the ECD role at BBDO back in Ho Chi Minh. She said, oh, really? I was like, oh, okay, so you do want to go back. she said, I'll go anywhere in the world with you. It's like, I know, but do you want to go back to Vietnam? Yeah, it would be nice. Anyway, so she missed it.
All right, so you've talked about a lot of positivity. Like every story you've told has been pretty positive, but I know that the advertising world is fraught with rejection. It's probably the bedrock of advertising is if you can get over the rejection and know that there's potential for your ideas to get through, that's enough to keep an advertising person alive. Is that minuscule chance that my idea is going to get through and a client's going to have the wherewithal or the emotional maturity or the level of appreciation or trust to let me do what I think is best. But I know, just watching Mad Men for years and being part of the industry myself, that more often than not, when you think you hit a home run, you struck out. And how do you deal? How have you dealt with that? What have been some of the most significant events in your professional career where you actually thought that you had the $1 million idea, but then you had to go back to the drawing table because you were flat out wrong?
I've got at least 5 campaigns that have won massive awards worldwide that didn't happen. I wrote the damn things. The agencies that I worked at, they didn't happen. Yeah, for whatever reasons. There's always a billion reasons. It could be client, it could be budget, because they just don't like the idea, or they just forget about it and it just goes off the radar. And then I to one client, and I thought, you need to see this, mate. You're the president of this brand for Asia. I showed you this idea. And then a year later, it's winning this massive award, and isn't it a cracking idea? And I thought, I'm never going to work with you again. I mean, I know you. I mean, this is kind of jabbing you in the ribs and saying you're an idiot. But it's not. It wasn't actually. It was literally just saying to him, look, if you get ideas presented like this to you, do them. Go with them. There was a great lecture talk at Cannes from Fernando Machado, I think his name is. They basically the guy who's just left Burger King, but Burger King Chief Marketing Officer worldwide. And he was at Cannes, and in fact I didn't need to see the lecture. All I needed to see what was on his screen. And on his massive screen at Cannes, it just said, this is his advice to all marketing people, which is be afraid. Be very afraid, then do it. If you don't do it, you'll never know. If you sit, we have so many clients that you present something fantastic to, and they should shiver a bit and go, oh my God, I don't think we can do that. It's like exactly the right response, because if you were trying to please everyone, you can actually please no one, because it's going to be bland.